Plantastics Research. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Plantastics Research. I would like to welcome you all back to the channel in the new year. I am glad that we're all able to share information again, and I'm also glad to say that we are moving on to our next chapter. And this is a very important chapter in our lessons and what we're going to be talking about for this semester. So I'm going to introduce you guys to the topic, data collection. This specific semester for my research class, we are going to be gathering data for a specific project that we are working on. And I want to kind of introduce you guys into what the field of what exactly data collection is. Now, it's a very important thing in every single scientific field, including medical, some type of research, biology, many different types of things. There's always going to be data collection. And data collection can be used in experiments and medical research. And these are things that help everyone and all scientists figure out things to help us in our daily lives. So, let's get started. First off, Happy New Year to everyone. I'm glad that we were able to make to a very good New Year. Oops, this is 2020, but it's okay. Yes, but I'm glad that we all able to get out of 2020, and I'm hoping that everyone, even though due to circumstances, I hope everyone had a very nice and safe year. I hope everyone's family is doing well, and I'm glad to also introduce that we are going to bring the year in very nicely, very positive, very unexpected as well, but we always want to keep it positive. I'm glad that I'm still able to share this wonderful information with you guys. All right, let's begin. All right, so the standard for this lesson today is going to be to obtain and evaluate and communicate information to delineate the plant divisions based on current plant phylogenetic and taxonomic principles. So that's a lot to take in really quickly, but this is actually the outer standard for the specific standard that we're going to be getting into. And if you see down here, we're going to be talking about SVO2C. And that's going to be to analyze and interpret data to develop models. Now, this specifically right here is what we're going to be doing. But we're also going to be looking at data in cladograms. And these are examples of some of the models based on patterns in common ancestry or conversion. So, in data collection, there are many different forms of it. And there are also many different types of ways that you can interpret and analyze it. And we're going to be talking about a few ways of those. So that's what the main focus of today's video is going to be about. Some keywords. Now, I know if you guys knew that our last videos, we started working on keywords and things to look out for. So I'm going to quickly read over these for you guys really quickly. So, data collection. This is the topic of the video. The process of gathering and measuring information on specific key factors in an established system. Now, we're going to talk about the word interpret. This is the idea of explaining the meaning of something, like I'm doing now. Resource, specific materials used to help figure out an idea or complete an action. And this is usually the things that we use to help us when we conduct research or when we conduct different things to help us interpret data much better. And this is a very important thing when you have resources. So, main gather sources of information. So, before we get into these, I want you guys to take a look at the pictures really quickly. So, a few data collection tools, and I'm very glad that this was implemented into one of the pictures that I could find. Interviews, observations, surveys, usage data, and focus groups. Now, two of the main ones that I see are observations and surveys. Observations are things that you analyze from your own perspective. And surveys are things that you take into account of others' opinions or what they may do that differs from someone else, and you kind of weigh them in a different type of category. Usage data, focus groups, not the more common ones, especially not for the type of data that we are collecting in our research group. However, we do work as a group, and we kind of collect data as a whole. Interviews as well is not one of them, but two of the most important are observations and surveys. And if you, for an example of an observation would be for you to observe how, let's say, how ice goes from liquid to solid, or how water goes from liquid to solid to create ice, or how ice goes from solid to liquid to create from a solid form of ice back to water. That's an observation that you may take into account. However, you do not see it exactly, but if you did run ice under hot water, it would melt back into its liquid form. Surveys. Surveys would be, let's say you took a piece of paper and you split it into 3 categories, and you say, how many people in my class like dogs, how many people in my class like cats, and how many people in my class like hamsters. You would then take a tally or circle or color code the difference, and you would see which one has the most, which one has the least, and which one has the middle amount. And that is what a survey could be. Oh, yeah, yes. Let's get to the main gathered sources of information. So this is not an overall. This is a specific gather information, but I'm going to introduce you all to a specific site that I have been required to look, and it's called Google Scholar. Now, if you're ever wondering, yes. So in our research class, we use Google Scholar, which is an important search engine for specific types of information, and have articles written about them. And the articles are overall looks at information about a specific topic. So let's say, why are, let's say, bananas yellow? Experimental determination of thermal conductivity and thermal diffusivity, can't pronounce that, of whole grain in Europe. And it would give you things that are specific to that specific topic. So looking at primary articles, or looking at articles in general, kind of help with the fact and overall look at how something works. So that's why primary articles, especially how they give you a backup on your own research. So I remember on my previous looks, I looked at the benefits of plants in our environment. Very important topic to definitely go over, especially so the ecological risk and benefits of genetically engineered plants, benefits in plants, in ant plant protectives, and just things that have to do with your topic. And they may not have a specific connection to your topic, but they do in a way, and that's what the fun and that's what the good part about primary articles is, so they can give you a way of thinking. So let's go back to PowerPoint. Close out Google. Yes. So primary articles, as we just brought out, going to Google Scholar, are things that you use to back up your data. And these are things that you probably use to back up your information, give proof. And also, I want you guys to understand that all data is not generally cannot always be proven, but it is, if you're trying and you're certain that something is being proven correctly, then, use a primary article to therefore contradict or prove that that is happening. Acquired data collection, specifically numbers. Now this is a more intricate topic, more on how different data is analyzed, mathematically specifically, and it is through a form called standard deviation that could be used as a way to analyze specific data. And it's more used for charting and things like that. Now, we're not going to get too much into this. However, I'm going to bring this up in a future video. So remember, acquired data collection is specifically with numbers. Data collection method. Now, I put a very easy one to understand. I put a little bit one that you may or may not have seen before. So let's look specifically at charts. These are charts. So this is a medical chart that was analyzed by a hospital called Grady Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. And this was on one of their specific medical research. And this is a more, formal, this is a student survey or inventory data, which is something that they may collect over a period of time. So the student name would go here every day, or multiple student names, and each of the data analytics would go here, and sometimes of the findings and things like that. The document. In the specific document things, these are things that sort of relate to maybe a documentation, sort of like a primary article. When you write your primary article, if you may present data or an idea in your primary article, that is you sharing that information. Lab reports. Now, this is a very interesting one. I write a lab report pretty recently for chemistry class, and we take research on a lab that we've done or an experiment that we've presented, and we give a report on it. And then primary articles, similar to documents, however, primary articles specifically give an idea on a specific, very specific topic. Oops. Yes. My personal data collection, trial and error. And the reason I implemented trial and error is because this is a very important thing. Things work sometimes, things may not work. And a quick background, I will be collecting data on different types of plant information. Specifically, it's kind of a difficult thing because you want to make sure that you're getting the right data, and sometimes that can be hard to grasp, and that is okay. Always make sure you ask your teacher, especially if you need help with things like that. Why? Well, one, it could be beneficial one day. Sometimes it could be beneficial for you personally. Sometimes people may have trouble with their gardens or things like that. So why is it important to implement data on some of your surroundings? Because it could some form be helpful. How? I will be going out, and this is also an encouragement at how data collection is done. Sometimes it can be collected online. Sometimes it can be collected if you actually physically going out and collecting it yourself. And when? That depends on what type of data collection you're doing. If you're doing it on fruit, you would want to wait for the seasonal type to do it and things like that. So it mostly depends on when and how you want to do it. What we have learned. Well, we've learned what data collection is, some of the methods for data collection, which are charting, primary articles, lab reports, and how to demonstrate findings, and that would be specific data chart inside your charting mathematically using standard deviation, and some of the mathematical formats I will explain later because they are very important. So yes, I'm glad that everyone was able to come to the video. It was a really short video, not as long as usual. I think I talked a little fast, but very easy, very lesson to understand. But it's a very important topic, and I will also be implementing my personal research that I'm doing for my project to help you guys understand data collection better. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I will see you guys later. Have a nice day. Goodbye.